Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a model that is 44.25 millimeters in diameter in grade 5 titanium. This is the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch Co-Axial Chronograph. All of those things, and it is very light in a combination of sapphire, ceramic, and titanium. Very light and very scratch tolerant. The timepiece features a 16.5 millimeter thickness and a 49.8 millimeter lug-to-lug dimension across the wrist with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Though large, it's identical in size and very similar in weight to the dark side of the moon and the gray side of the moon. So if you've worn those, think that exactly, and you've got the fit and the wrist mass in mind. Now, it's a big watch, so I wouldn't recommend it for a wrist necessarily smaller than 15 centimeters circumference. I'll do my best to show it from overhead right there. And then down the barrel, it's a big watch again. It's got a lot of wrist presence. It's fairly thick, and thanks to the cantilever of the bezel, it's unlikely to fit underneath the dress cuff, but it is a handsome timepiece, and it looks good in just about any attire. It's not too formal, it's not too sporty. There's some versatility to this design. Taking a look at the strap, you can see it is a large rectangular scale alligator leather matte finish, features a folded edge, a contrasting stitch, silver stitch, and then this navy blue strap is calfskin on the underside, and as you can see, it is a brand new Omega factory strap. The buckle is a handsome piece, also in grade 5 tie, a combination of satin and polish, twin triggers to release it so it can't accidentally pop open. And then inside, you tuck the strap underneath, and then you buckle it and you fix it, and that sizes the watch. So notice how all the excess length is tucked underneath the strap, so you don't see it once it's sized, and then you don't need these strap minder loops that typically wear out and look ragged on conventional straps. So this is a very smart clasp that offers a lot, from security to aesthetics. The case is all grade 5 titanium, which means it's light the way titanium is, but it's also harder and more scratch tolerant than standard 316 steel. It's the lyre style lug profile we've seen on Speedmasters since 1964. So you have those inward facing bevels, then you have these outward facing bevels. The outward ones are polished and they expand at the end of the case. You can see that the underside of the bezel itself is polished, but then the top features a ceramic insert for scratch resistance. We have a little bit of a shear guard, so slightly countersunk pushers and crown. That's for the protection of the controls on the crown side. And then inboard of the tachymeter scale, you can see a blue lacquer dial that perfectly matches the blue of the tachymeter. The tachymeter can be used with the chronograph seconds hand to gauge the speed of, for example, a race car over a mile or a kilometer, and because there are no units given, there's base 500 but no units given. If you're handy with math, you can do it for kilometers or miles per hour. The dial is an upscale one, white gold hands and indices, and then you have these sunken sub-registers, one of which, the one at 3 o'clock, is actually a mono counter. If you look carefully, you can see there are two superimposed coaxial hands. One reads chronograph hours, one reads chronograph minutes, so you get this pleasing vintage twin register look, but with chronograph hours, minutes, and seconds in addition to constant seconds. We have a black disc with silver on black print for the date, and the watch has two subsidiary setting modes. One of them is the time zone mode that allows you to set the hour hand while the minutes hand stays the same and the watch continues to run, including the chronograph. You can see how I can adjust the date forward or backwards depending on which direction I'm traveling. It's a great feature for those who travel frequently. You won't upset the timing of your watch. It's set to the second, and that does not change as you travel. Now, if you pull the crown out all the way, you will do it with more nails than I have. I manicure for you guys. I go all the way. There is a hacking or stop seconds function as well for precise setting against a reference time. Here you can see the caliber 9300, and you can see watch is a coaxial chronometer. We're not quite master coaxial. This is the coaxial chronometer, which means it is the COSC certified coaxial escapement, the 9300, that offers you 60 hours of automatic winding power reserve with bidirectional winding action. It has two mainspring barrels, which means there's a very even torque release. A single barrel will see a lot of balance amplitude drop off after 24 or 48 hours, and that's a thing with Rolex single barrel movements. With two barrels, amplitude stays more constant after 24 or 48 hours, assuming the watch hasn't been worn or rewound. 54 joules. It is a 25,200 vibration per hour hour beat rate. You can see the watch does include both a column wheel for crisp function selection of the chronograph and a vertical clutch for smooth engagement of the chronograph's seconds hand. And with the vertical clutch, you can also leave the chronograph running without any additional wear or tear to the movements. You can just read your seconds at center, pretend that's your seconds hand along with the minutes and the hours, and there's no reason mechanically why this watch couldn't do that. It has a highly anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, and for shock tolerance, it has a full balance bridge with a free-sprung index. There is a tri-level coaxial escapement, and you can actually see it if you loop the watch close to the balance. It is a direct and indirect impulse escapement that extends the service life between maintenance routines, actually improves chronometry, extends power reserve, and it reduces the amount of total lubricant necessary in the watch. This escapement, the tri-level version of it, is one of the reasons why Omega can now offer 5-year warranties, and that continues to benefit you long after the watch itself is out from under warranty. All of this is also 100 meters water resistant, so it's a very versatile timepiece. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. We're back with the Co-Axial Chronograph.